All right, everybody, I want you to look at something here. Just a quick video. I've talked about small caps being undervalued. What do you notice here? This is not the S&P 500. This is the S&P 600. Okay, so what is the S&P 600? First of all, it's a small cap index established by S&P Global Ratings. It covers roughly the small cap range of American stocks using a capitalization weighted index. To be included in the index, a stock must have a total market capitalization that ranges between 1.2 and 8 billion. So, this index in particular, up 56% in the last 5 years. Over the last year is basically flat, okay? Year to date, up 2.57%. But look at the last 6 months, okay? This is what's interesting. And I've noticed this on the Russell as well. If you look at the last 6 months of the Russell, we're up 32%, okay? So I've been saying for a while now that small caps can make a big move higher. But it's only over the last 6 months that we've really seen a move in small caps. I mean, if you think about it, if you look at the comparison of the S&P 500, let's say, over the last 5 years, it's up 91% over the last 5 years. NASDAQ QQQ, that one is up 108% over the last 5 years. S&P 600 is up over the last 5 years 55%. Meanwhile, the Russell 2000 is up 52%. So while small caps have lagged behind, and in particular, the S&P 600 year to date and the 1 year chart is basically flat. But over the last 6 months, we've seen this big push in small caps. The thing is, though, I feel like we have a lot more room to run. When you think about sector rotation, when you think about these megatech AI companies and all the money sloshing around on Silicon Valley, when's the last big rally we've had for small caps? Really, it has been in the last 6 months. If it wasn't for this 6-month rally that we've seen in particular, like over the last few months, we've seen this big push on the S&P 600 small cap index and the Russell 2000. And these are just the indexes. Think about all the individual companies that have not actually made those moves yet that we typically see. These things happen in cycles. I always say this. And, we've seen this lagging behind for so long that it's only natural to expect a big move like this over the last 6 months because of how undervalued they've been, in my personal opinion, relative to the mega tech companies, the large tech companies, the big boys on Wall Street. Okay, so if you look back at 2020 and 2021, we saw a massive rally in small caps. If you go back to 2017, 2016, 17, kind of the same thing. There's a pattern to this. And I'm not saying it's going to happen right this moment. Like, it's already kind of happening. But I'm just saying get ready because I think a lot of these smaller companies are going to be going on some big moves. And this is when the indexes start to do this, you can know that the companies that are not even part of the index, those are going to be hit as well in a positive way. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video because I've been bullish on small caps for a while, and it seems like they've lagged behind big time. And it seems like only in the last 6 months is when we've really seen a push in these indexes. And once again, the S&P 600, so what is it? It's an index for specifically small caps. Now, these numbers, it was initially saying like 1 to 8 billion, maybe because of inflation. Now it's saying on S&P 850 million to 3.6 billion. But regardless, you're still talking companies typically probably under $5 billion in market valuation. So a lot smaller than your NVIDIAs of the world, right? But what is the best S&P 600 index fund? You can look at the iShares Core S&P Small Cap ETF, IJR. These are not recommendations based upon your risk tolerance and investing goals. Always remember that. But Spider Portfolio S&P 500 600 Small Cap ETF, SPSM. The Invesco S&P Small Cap Value with Momentum ETF, XSVM, and the Invesco S&P 500 Momentum ETF, XSMO. If we look at IJR real quick, just to give you a perspective, here's a way you could invest in small caps. Similar return over the last 5 years. You're going to have your fees and everything, but this is basically where we're at right now. So if you want to invest in small caps like either the Russell 2000, you can look at those specific ETFs. But in particular, this one has not really done much except for in the last 6 months. So the momentum is there, and I think there's more momentum for small caps. I don't think this bull run is over quite yet, and I don't think it might be for, honestly, a couple years. I just saw a piece on CNBC about how, yes, confidence can vanish like that, but, these things can go on longer than expected. And we're in the midst of a big hype cycle. A big mania is going on, and it seems to be accelerating. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Hope you all are doing well out there. And this is my hot take on small caps. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are small caps going to do well? Are we going to see a bigger move in small caps? What do you guys think?